Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I have to come on and bring this message. It it downloaded into my spirit this morning, and so very short but very serious, right? This is a warning to those who are not indigenous to this land, okay, to America. And whether you came here 3, 4 generations ago, or whether you just got here, this is a very important message, especially for those of you who are learning the occult sciences, right? um, and you are choosing to use alchemy, be very, very mindful of what you are doing with that alchemy. Because if you are using it against any of us who are indigenous to this land, which is the so called Black American, African American, Negro, is getting ready to backfire on you tremendously. Okay? Largely because you're working with elements that belong to our lineage. Okay, you're here on land that was built by our ancestors. And so, quite often, when you use alchemy, you're working with earth, wind, water, fire. This is all energy that comes from our bloodline. Okay, we are in this soil. Our ancestors have been buried on this soil, okay, within this soil. And so it's very, very important that you only use alchemy from a space of integrity when you're doing it here in America, because it's going to backfire against you tremendously if you work against any of the original beings of this land. And as again, we're talking about the Negro, okay? The Black man, woman, and child, the African American. If you are working against us in any way, shape, or form using alchemy on this soil, it is going to backfire tremendously against yourself and your lineage. It's like walking into someone's house and using what they hold sacred against them. Is going to backfire because our energy is all over whatever you are choosing to use to work against another who is an original being of this land. Our ancestors are not having it. And so this is a large reason why the powers that were, as they continue to do their spells behind the scenes to try and keep us asleep, because they're afraid of our awakening, they're afraid of us, activating our higher consciousness and remembering the hidden knowledge, the occult knowledge, and using it, not just remembering it, but using it. They're so afraid of that they're going harder with their rituals against us. But this is also the reason why it's backfiring, because these beings, of course, they believe in using animal sacrifice. Of course, they are using graveyard dirt. They're doing all types of things, but using our elements, okay, our land, to try and do magic against us. Even if, let's just say they was like, okay, well, we're hip. We're not going to use anything off of this landmass. We'll just, import it from Europe. The moment that it touches this soil, the moment that that person's feet touches this soil, our energy automatically hits whatever they're carrying in their hands, okay? If they brought some chickens over here thinking they was going to use some chicken ass, okay? If they brought some soil over here, it does not matter. The moment that that person's feet who carries that item touches this soil, they are in our house. And so therefore, they cannot use their magic against us in our house. So this is a warning for those of you who did not have any knowledge about this. You may not have known that this was sacred land and that you are violating sacred law, okay? Whatever alchemy you try to use against the indigenous man, woman, and child, the melanated man, woman, and child who are indigenous to this land, you are getting ready to feel some very, very heavy energy in your life. So you better be very, very mindful of what you are doing and why you're doing it. That's all I wanted to say. I'll talk to y'all soon.